Hey guys, it's the History Nerd, and we are back with another exciting episode of Europa Universalis for Great Britain. Now, when we last left off, had quite an interesting episode. Two other European great powers, being Portugal and France, decided, hey, okay. Let's not get revisionist history just yet. To be fair, the war with Portugal started because British Mexico decided it wanted chunks of the Aztecs, and the war with the French was because Newfoundland wanted to recapture the colony that French Canada had taken from them. So, needless to say, this could have been a peaceful century if it wasn't for colonies. Lesson learned. But what can you do? Now, in consultation with my war cabinet, i.e. the comments section in my video, it's been suggested to just white peace with France. And honestly, that sounds like a really good idea. With the French owning Lithuania, and really no way for me to get into France itself, especially after they curb stomped our ally Trier, there's really not much we can do against the French. There was one question in there was, does the wooden wall even exist? Well, yes it does. So here is the Royal Navy, which is basically a bunch of merchantmen and 6 two-decker battleships. That's not much of a wooden wall, and I would wholeheartedly agree with you. That is because, where is my navies? The Indian Squadron, 66 ships, 46 of which are heavy ships. This is the wooden wall. Unfortunately, it's also my Indian Transportation Squadron. So, I maybe made a poor military decision when I sent that navy way out here to do battle with the Portuguese. So, needless to say, lesson learned, always keep a fleet at home with Britain. Now, we do have, or an attempt to boost up the Royal Navy at home. And in fact, it looks like these French jerkwads are going back to Picardy. I would imagine they've got attrition to deal with, so I will quickly consolidate this fleet in London. However, hopefully that will not be necessary, as I should have diplomats free, because I know I'm not using them. We will see if we can work out some sort of agreement with the French, and obviously we're the aggressors, and we've got a bit of an advantage. There's no question about that. So, thankfully, with me coming along and saying, like, look, France, this is a problem with our colonies. Neither of us should have got involved. We should have just let them settle it and leave it at that. So, I could try to claim that, and actually, it looks like the French are going to go for it. I don't know why Newfoundland's going to suffer aggressive expansion when this is their land. You shouldn't suffer aggressive expansion penalties when you're retaking your land. That's not even just my opinion. I think that makes common sense. Regardless, we're going to go to the French, and we're going to get this peace deal going, because really neither of us want to be involved in this war. I would imagine France has bigger fish to fry than England, who's let them do their own thing. So we'll settle this. Send demand. There we go. That should handle that. Now, the question about Portugal. This is a slightly different concern, and I wouldn't even call it a concern, because the Portuguese don't really scare me. France scares me a lot. But if we take a look at the ledger, and I haven't looked at this yet, so keep in mind, this could just be complete craziness. But we can see our total of 89,000 men is just slightly above the Portuguese total of 81,000 men. And I know they've got a giant stack rampaging through Africa somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where. You can see we've done some rampaging of our own. So you're not the only ones, Portugal. The main concern and the main focus of this is obviously gaining these territories from the Portuguese. Now, is that actually... Oh, no, that's the capital of Portuguese Mexico. Okay, good. I was worried for a second there Portugal moved their capital to that, which would be insane. So let's go and talk to them. They are not a big fan of us, and let's be honest, we're not a big fan of them. But let's see what kind of peace offer we can get from them. Now, we could try and go for their... Well, I mean, first off, they're not at all interested in signing a peace treaty, which is fine. We can continue the long march and the conquest of Portuguese colonies. That's not a concern. We got France off our backs, which then opens up with all the merchants that I've built up. That opens up sending the Army of Ireland with the amazing General Adolphus Burgoyne, or however you pronounce that name, down into the Portuguese homeland, which, hey, if you're going to hit a country anywhere, hit him in the homeland, because that's going to hurt. All right, let's take a look here. We can get new diplomatic tech, which will give us heavy frigates, which are going to be nice. I think we're going to go for that. And then next up, we've got the Cheeback, which I really don't need to worry about, because I don't really do much in archipelagos. I suppose that might be good in the Caribbean, but that's all colonial navies anyway, so who cares about that? All right. Well, let's go ahead, unpause the game, and see what happens. So, instantly, with the Peace of France, Trier was like, screw you! Well, no. I mean, I realize we waited until France came along and ruined your country. Maybe a bit rude of us, but, whatever. At least we got our colony back, which is good. If I had to white peace, I would have. And then just used the handy-dandy rebel system to try and convince the English colonists in, Abetby, that, Abitby? I don't know. And this is even in my country. I should know this. Although we didn't keep that name, I'll tell you that much. So that's good. We got that back. Newfoundland is looking like the dominant power in North America. And now we need to figure out what we can do. Well, we can take you. And we cannot march you to Mexico. We are going to need a transport fleet, but we can definitely get you out of the French lands because, yes, we'll just do that. Okay. Yeah, we're going to need transport ships over there. That's not really that big of a concern at the moment. What's a bigger concern is getting this fleet set. There we go. 31 ships. So only 11 heavies. I don't know what kind of navy the Portuguese have. I suppose I could check the ledger. But, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to. I'd rather leave it as a surprise. Poor tactical decision, for sure. But, it makes it more fun. Now, one of the things I am concerned about here is the Portuguese army just showing up in their obviously very important South African colonies. I don't really want to split these guys up to march along, although we are taking attrition, so that might not be a bad idea. And I just wish, well, I guess they're on the move, and it would be nice if you could go there, because that's really more important than Panama here. But, hey, if we can get all of it, then we're sitting pretty awesomely. And I know in the comments, some of you are like, don't take any territory from Portugal. Man, are you kidding me? If I can, I'm getting all of these. Sugar, cotton, yarn, cotton. They're in India. Like, if I can lock this down and make it British, man, why wouldn't I? That would be insane not to. Same goes for, obviously, the British Mexico bits. need to happen. Okay, good. We got the conversions going on here. This is all looking good. Oh, that's that's Protestants. Good. And that's going to need diplomatic power. We'll worry about making the Indians British at a later date. And we can't really do anything in Ceylon at the moment. The revolt risk isn't high, which is great, and I want to keep it that way. So we're going to avoid putting missionaries or anything like that in Ceylon for now. I know it's only 9 months, and, you know, not much happens in 9 months. But, yeah, you know, it's, whoops, keep going back to that. It's, I don't want to lose it, is really all it is. And I don't have any transports to move them. Not while this fleet is sitting down here with the army of Java, which is yet to actually make it to Java, and that's sad. And as tempting as it is to go storming back into the lands I own, that military is just a bit too big. Now, granted, they've got more artillery than I do. I don't know if that really makes any difference whatsoever. This is getting kind of sketchy. I don't want to lose these troops as well. That would be very depressing. Tariffs on fur. We'll just take the administrative power. Actually, I'd rather not lose. Do I have 3 colonists just sitting around doing nothing? Huh. Yeah, because I'm at war with Portugal, so I don't think... Oh, hello. Yeah, if we can get in on this, we are going to. So we'll send one there. The Portuguese shouldn't be able to get there. We can continue moving around the New World, although without any troops. I guess this guy can't even make it to Mexico. So we might as well keep him stationed up here. What do I want to go for next? Possibly Potawatomi or Winnipeg. It's not even a question. Not going to Winnipeg. Hopefully the French don't snag it. Or Manitoba either. Although, damn, it gets cold there, so they can keep it. I'm liking how the border of Texas is kind of showing up there. You know, right along the Rio Grande. I like how that worked out. One of the few times borders actually work out in this game. Anyway, I need to stop jibber-jabbering. I've got a war to fight with the Portuguese. I'm not even really stalling for time, because it's not a concern of mine. Okay, let's see. Oh, yeah. So they've got a relatively large army there with a very good leader. And I've got a much smaller army with not as good of a leader. And look at Lisbon. Lisbon is putting London to shame. That is a bit annoying. So, obviously, we're not going to hit Lisbon. That would be disastrous. And I believe they can march across, provided they've got access via Spain. And I freaking bet they do. So, where can we go? Now, I could go crazy and sail all the way over to Australia, leaving, again, the Royal Navy away from England and the Wooden Wall. But what I might do is hasten the conquest of Portuguese Mexico. Oh, they got that on lockdown. Those guys, those Portuguesians, still kicking around. So, yeah, I don't know why British Columbia stopped there. But, geez, just spoiled for choice. Yeah, there's nothing, like, I can't, possibly, if I put them in Porto, then, no, they'd have to go up. What's the terrain like here? Flat. That's not good. Flat. What I'd need to do is land them in Porto and get them up to Brera, which won't happen. But I'm looking for a good defensive place. 18,000 cannons. That seems like a lot. Now, I don't know what sort of effect cannons have on combat. I know they're great for sieges, but I don't know about combat. So, Oh. Oh my. Well, what's that? 16 and 23? And we've got freaking 46. I wonder if I could combine those forces. Don't want to lose this army. That general's just as good as, or better. Esquibo? Now, we're going to continue on this African adventure and see if we can locate their army. Well, no, I don't want to do that either. Perhaps start something in Africa? Let's head down to Africa. Yeah, that, you basically just threw your ship away, Portugal. I appreciate it. I really, truly do. But that seemed like a bit of a waste. Wouldn't you agree? Now, let's see. 8, 2, 2, 8. But that definitely does have a straight, doesn't it? I'm fairly confident you can cross from Cadiz to Tangiers. And the Spanish are allied with the Portuguese, so for sure that'll cause problems. You can see they're definitely trying to reinforce down in here. Okay, New World it is, and we will stop there. There we go. Ooh, or maybe I'll take Cape Verde from them. Does that actually help them at all? Not really. Not at all, in fact. So yeah, we'll go for Portuguese Brazil, which is still just Portugal, because they haven't snagged that last colony. Let's see, huzzah! Alright, well, we can keep moving you south. You're doing great work, random African garrison that I decided to purchase, or build. Spanish ships, don't need to worry about them. What have we got there? 4 light ships. They'll probably stay hidden, and that's Malabar converted. Wunderbar in Malabar. Yeah, that was the best I could do at the moment. I'm terribly sorry for that horrible... It wasn't even a pun, really. It was just a play on words. Oh, knocking the microphone. All right. So what do we got here? The 5 colonies in Great Britain showed up. Yeah, let's go, guys. And you would be Castilian Brazil, so you're safe. All right, now, Royal Navy here is definitely in rough shape. Our closest port, I believe, would be Dominica, maybe? Yeah. Yes, it is. So let's send... Well, yeah, it's Dominica. So we will send you all the way over there to get some repairs done. And I'm less concerned about... these guys showing up. Here... Really, that's all you need to siege the Rio Grande is 1. That is amazing. And then we'll send the last army over there. And you don't even really need 3,000. Natal, excellent. Let's keep going. And let's actually just take a look at this. So... medium war enthusiasm and very low war enthusiasm for Portuguese Mexico, whereas everybody in the Commonwealth is like, hey, let's keep this up, guys. We can do this. So we're looking at taking Nicaragua. Can't say that for some reason. I would like to take a look. Do you guys, yeah, you guys really do want that. That would be good too. So let's just see. Are they ready to... Whoops, nope, we gotta go to your mother country. Would be helpful if we could just click on you. Can't. So we go to Portugal. And yeah, of course you'd like to get a white piece, wouldn't you? That would be just wonderful. Well, Nicaragua is what British Mexico wants. So let's try that. And then let's try also Shoretega there. And we're still looking in the green. That's good. So now let's try that. And we're still in the green. And Tlaxcala there. And we're still in the green. And you see, this is where British Mexico, I would have appreciated it if you went after Salutiques there. So we could snag that too. It's not selectable, and it is gold. So I'd really, 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 really like to get that and not have it in the hands of the Portuguese. So hopefully that's where you're headed. It looks like we should be able to get some decent land out of the deal, though. I just want to keep an eye on this section here. Make sure nothing bad is going to be happening. We've got a clear view into the Cape, and nobody's there. Looks like they're all getting stacked up in Wida. For some reason, Portugal seems to think that makes the most sense. So, yeah. Something to remember. Now, please tell me you're going to make it. And Cuba, come along. They helped out. Thank you very much, Cuba. It's all about helping out the Commonwealth. So we've got a revolt up here. Sin nationalists. I don't know if that means they're going to liberate the country for Portugal. But I'll tell you what I don't want to do. Oh, dear. That's not good. They're taking attrition. I don't want to lose those. So we're pulling out of Zosa, and we're heading back. We'll go to... no, we'll just... well, either way, we're going to have a water crossing penalty, so we'll go to Kutch, let them get up to 100%. If we just drop the Navy in there, obviously these guys, our military will be fighting at half strength. Or some sort of disadvantage because they just got off boats. Now let's head back to British... Come on, go, and then assault the thing. You've got more than enough men to take that fort. All right, and we got British Columbia getting involved in there. That's good. Everybody helping. These caravels. To be quite honest, I mean, we don't even really need you. We can cover our asses there, I suppose. In fact, we could split it and really cover ourselves. Hopefully give us enough time to respond if any Portuguese armies land there, but I don't think they will. I think they're concentrating on protecting their African possessions, which I don't necessarily blame them, but it seems to me like they could be doing a better job of organizing their forces in this very global war. I've got to say, this has been a good test of my fighting across 3 continent abilities. Look at that, 37. Come on, guys. And that should be no contest. Lower Sind is done, so we can send those guys up. And yeah, obviously the focus is going to be, hey! Well, that's good. The focus is going to be North America here. But if I can also snag some of these Indian colonies, like I say... Where are they? There they are. I certainly wouldn't say no. Now, they are Catholic. So that'll be a thing we'll have to fix. But what else can we get? Maybe some more African colonies here? What have we got here? Gold. Oh. And then grain, and then... slaves, gold, and ivory. Oops. I do like more gold, but I don't know how long I want to push this for. And then, of course, we've got... When does go to siege view? Oh, okay. That makes sense that would be there. So we've got that. Let's go and talk to the Portuguese and just see here. So, what we're going to need... We've got all those lands still selected. We shall include the new collection of... What? British Mexico don't want the war leader to demand provinces for them. Really? You don't want that? So yeah, they're going... Portugal is all gung-ho to get out of North America, it looks like. It looks like Portugal is ready to abandon those colonies. Now let's see. Can I push my luck? Cathawar, yes. What about Rajkot? No. So that's it. We could get Cathawar. You know what? That's not really going to be worth it. So we'll take that out of the peace deal. So Portuguese will cede all of that. We'll gain some more prestige and 60 aggressive expansion. My goodness, that is insane. But we need it. We need this land. Because once we get this, it'll be, well, it won't quite be complete, but then it'll just be Portuguese Mexico and Mexico, and we'll be able to take care of that in no time. Now, my concern here is that these territories aren't going to go to British Mexico. They're going to go to me. I don't know if I want that, but we're gonna do this. We're gonna find out what happens here. So send that demand. Perfect. Okay. Fine. Thank you. We've got some overextension to deal with, but do we? I would suggest that we don't. Let's see here. We certainly do not. So that is good news. Poor little Portuguese Mexico. British Mexico is looking quite nice. British Columbia looking pretty strong as well. And now, let's go ahead and get these guys out. Army of Java. Whoa, you get on the boats. And then you are going to need to head over... Actually, you're going to need to head over this way. We've got the spare colonists. We can send them now. And actually start working on Java, which is great. So we can get that up there. We're going to need a new garrison for this region. That's going to become pretty important. And what else can we do? We can work on getting... Oh, the Portuguese actually landed 22,000 men in Cornwall. Didn't even notice. Okay, so we'll send you guys back to London. We're going to need to find the Army of Ireland. Have you guys all collect up there. This Chesapeake Trade Fleet, I'm just going to disband because they're old. We really don't need them. Take the Royal Navy. Whoa. Head to the coast of Brazil. Send those guys home. And I think that should be all we need to do. I think we're pretty much in the clear there. So that's good. We'll let those guys get into position and then start colonizing. And in fact, we can probably 6, 3, 2, 5, no question where we're sending our colonists. It's going to take them the better part of 2 years to get there. So that's good. It shouldn't take these guys 2 years to get there. Again, the pathing, it looks like if we go here and then 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 here, that'll get us there quicker. And I think that's even my mission right now, isn't it? Yes. Establish Great Britain in the Spice Islands. So I would have to say that was some pretty successful war fighting. Considering I didn't want to do that and was certainly concerned about both France and Portugal. Turned out okay. Again, I never actually made it down here to capture that colony. Bit of a letdown, but that would just have me sandwiched between Portugal and Spain in Australia. So, you know, it's fine. It's fine. We'll survive. All right. We can just pause this. We will take Maximilian Proctor's Army of Java. Absolutely head into there. And no natives attacked us. I think we might be picking the right location for our colonies. Okay. So let's send the Indian squadron there, which is quite honestly far too full of heavy ships. I could use some light ships in here to help with trade and all the other things that would be necessary. But that'll happen later on. And I do believe Madagascar is looking good when it comes to fortresses. I don't need to worry about level 5s at the moment. So we're good there. Let's just check our statistics. We're still obviously far too invested in military units, but we can get that up. So we just need more provinces, really. I think it's based on tax value. It was mentioned in the comments, and I'll be honest, I can't recall. Are you kidding me? That doesn't make any sense. We're right here. We own this. It is actually British. We could send them there. We can send them to Winnipeg, which is definitely farther. Winnipeg is 135 distance from our closest unblockaded core province. This looks like it's an unblockaded core province. Is it not? Am I confused? I mean, obviously, I think I am confused. Because that should be colonizable. Just need that land. All the land. What is this? Castilian, Louisiana. Oh yeah, such a thing does exist. Okay, well fine. If we can't go there, then we'll just continue pushing north. From British Mexico. No, I don't... Why? I don't understand. And I mean... Arrgh! Go to Michigan. Hopefully that'll sort itself out at some time. Oh, hello. It looks like one of the French-Canadian colonies up in Cree there failed. So that's where we're going to go. We'll secure that. That'll be good. What have we got here? Great Australia Bight. Okay, yeah. So, I have a feeling if we're going to get anywhere into Australia, it's going to have to be Wadjuk there. But Australia it's just not really all that important. In this game, I mean, obviously, whatever. You know what? Screw it. I'm not going to pussyfoot around it. I've said what I've said. I'm going to stand by it. Muscovy has colonies out here? Man. Well done. I guess, yeah. The only thing that's stopping them from forming Russia again is the Swedish hold on Novgorod. So, eventually that's gonna... eventually that has to happen. That has to be a war. Where to begin? It seems that settlers from British Mexico has ventured into Panama, a province of British Columbia, in search of new land and resources. British Columbia then sent their militia to drive them out, but they got overzealous and pursued the settlers back into Choratiga, raiding and burning. The conflict then escalated when British Mexico sent their militia to drive out the British Columbia militia and carry out raids of their own into Panama. The governor of British Columbia, Richard Churchill, is blaming the governor of British Mexico, Sidney Howard, and vice versa. How do we solve this without losing face? Let them sort it out themselves. That selection right there shows that we lose face. We can remove one of the governors, which obviously will have an influence on what happens, or we can make them sort out their differences. We've already got negative 30 diplomatic power. We might as well make it negative 80? How much are we making a month? 6. That's going to take over 10 months to recoup from. Let's check our subjects. So we've got British Mexico, who's sitting at 17%, and British Columbia, correct? Yes, who is sitting at 14. So obviously, I mean, either one is going to really screw us over. And we're losing prestige, right? Because of decay. So that sucks. Fine, sort out your damn problems yourself. We've gained a quasi-belly against the Netherlands now that we have a nice border shared with them. And what I want to do now... Whoa, Austria, you are looking great. I need to get on the whole diplomatic thing. So what we're going to need to do is start improving relations with other Protestant nations. And, wow. I think Sweden, that needs to happen. But we're a freaking rival, and we're a rival with Bohemia too, aren't we? No, we are not. Why would you be rivaled? Well, I guess we got Trier too here, so we're friends now, aren't we? I thought we were... Did making a separate... No, they canceled the alliance directly with us. Well, then screw you. Well, who else can we make friends with? It's basically just Sweden. I don't think Poland's going to be all that interested. We could try Brandenburg, but... The Hansa, who... Yeah, that was... We dishonored that alliance a while ago. So, let's just improve relations and be like, look, let bygones be bygones. What's in the past is in the past. We're not proud of it by any stretch of the imagination. But we hope you'll just forgive us. Let's do that. I have a feeling I'm losing ships here left, right, and center. Hold on. Merge together. Get on the boats. And then get you guys home to Ireland and get you back into London, Royal Navy. Where you can... begin reforming the wooden wall, because we certainly need that. I just want to make sure I got all my fleets taken care of, and I do. These guys are all set. Nationalism is no longer a problem, so let's just hop on a boat, head on over to Ceylon. There we go, and now we can start doing what we need to do here. So that's going to be 9 months of possible religious problems, followed up by a ton of time of goodness. Now, Muscovy has a claim on that. That is interesting. I guess they've got the get into India mission as well. So if they want to fight me, they're certainly possibly could. Let's get some temples in here. Do we want temples or do we want constables? We've already got constables in place, so let's get temples across the board. Help those colonies out. What else can we do? Oh, you don't have a temple? Well, we'll get you a temple. We should have a constable set up. Training fields, armories. Don't really need to worry about any of those. Workshops. Counting houses. We'll leave it. We'll leave it like that. Now, let's just make sure I've got all of the necessary military buildings. And it certainly looks like I do, but what we could also do is start improving forts in England because they need it. So we'll go with Ireland first, and then we'll go along the coastlines. There we go. And start working our way up to, sadly, level 3 fortresses. But again, it's not something you need to really worry about with England, ignoring the fact that the Portuguese managed to land an army in Cornwall. All right. Well, hopefully British Mexico can integrate their new colonies nicely. And all them gold, all the gold. It's looking good for us. However, our economy, if I notice it correctly, is still looking like crap. And to be fair, a lot of that is spent on army and fleet maintenance. Which, at this stage of the game, I could probably safely knock down to about there. I like keeping it high, because then if war happens, and you're not expecting it, you can fix that problem up just fine. Really like to know why I can't colonize you. And like, because I know why I can't colonize this. It was some bug to do with the expansion in existing games and the map, and some things, like you can see here, these lands will just never be colonized. This obviously can be colonized, but I just don't understand. I don't understand why it's just not going to let me take that. So, regardless, here's hoping Kree comes along and gets colonized and all that other fun, happy, joyful stuff. Do we know what we're producing there yet? Not a thing. Wave of obscurantism. As a typical response to different kinds of problems, obscurantism was a frequent behavior in most nations, at least until the Age of Enlightenment arose in the most advanced Western nations of the European continent. Knowledge is power. Ignorance is bliss. Knowledge is power. One thing I do want to check, actually, is setting myself up with a constitutional monarchy, which will give us a manpower recovery speed of 10%, a prestige decay modifier so that it won't be as bad, and yearly legitimacy. I think we should become a constitutional monarchy. It's time to reform England, get a parliament going, and get the Magna Carta dusted off and truly added to the political process of this fine, wonderful nation we have built. In fact, fine, wonderful empire we have built. So let's go ahead and become a constitutional monarchy. Yay, we are now better. And with that glorious and insane change, good God. Oh, whew. From way back here, the blue flag with 3 crowns looks a lot like a blue flag with 3 fleur-de-lis. Now I can see that, you can see the subtle differences between the two, right? Like, they are subtle. One's just a blank normal face and the other is raising its eyebrows in surprise. But, yeah, for a second there I thought France was at war with Poland, and I'm like, I am glad I'm not in the HRE, because that is going to be hell. Anyway, that is a very good place to leave the video, I believe. So, granted, only 2 years ticked by, and I do apologize, 2 years ticked by, and I do apologize for not really much happening, aside from amazing victories in war. So, next time we'll make sure to stay peaceful and actually advance time a bit longer. So thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video. Leave your comments, questions, concerns, thoughts, jokes, musings, what have you below. Thank you all very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.